health and a little wealth and a lot of love.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk more about financing. Once you find that sound investment, what are some strategies for securing funding?
Okay, so I'm about to drop a gem that is not widely known. So this is another Zach hack. This is a huge one. So stop what you're doing. Pay attention. Can I get a drum roll on this one? I call it the Nomad Method. Are you familiar with the Nomad Method?
Yes, I'm painfully familiar with the Nomad Method.
So guys, there's so much to say about this one. In fact, I can dedicate a whole episode to this topic, and probably will, because I'm very passionate about it. All right, the Nomad Method. This is where you buy a starter home, you live in it, you save up, then you buy a little bit bigger, but you don't sell your first one. You live in that one, then you buy your next one. On and on and on it goes. Mm-hmm. So usually you buy the second property, you are subject to 20% down, which a lot of people don't have 20% down. So for investment properties, there's not much you can do around that, right? Wrong. There's two things you can do about it. One is if you have a spouse and you're getting married, I talked about this in Financially Ever After. I had 2 properties going into this marriage. I wanted Emily to get 2 properties, but I also wanted to get married. so I didn't push it too hard, but we found this property which maxed out what your leverage potential was. So she took advantage of the 5% down and the very low interest rate. Now, there is something called an FHA loan. Google it. I'll tell you what it is, but Google it. It's a Federal Housing Association, I think. It's underneath the Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac, whatever. I'm probably butchering this, but what I do know about it is you only put 3.5% down, and you can live in it up to a year. Then you can move and do the same damn thing. So the people out there who are not high earners, who are making 50, 60,000, and you want to get into real estate and you want to think differently and have a legacy and have more, this is for you guys. There's no excuse. You save for a house, you put 3.5% down, live it for a year, and you do it again. Then you do it again, and you do it again, as long and as often as you want. It's probably my favorite way for people who don't have access to much liquidity and funds, mm-hmm. and who are not high earners. You know, I told my brother about this. I've been begging him to do it because I think he can really make a lot of money in real estate, especially the way real estate is headed. I don't think real estate, most people think real estate home prices are where there are, and we don't see a correction in the future, AKA recession. Correction is such a nicer word. But yeah, I think that's something. So look into it. 3.5% FHA, live in for a year, buy another house. Very passionate about that. And the funny thing is I actually never took advantage of that. I could. And you know what's crazy is you could. So as couples, you can actually, your husband could buy one, your wife could buy one.
So anyone can be eligible for it? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to meet certain income
I don't think you have to meet certain income requirements. I could be wrong with that, but there is a certain threshold of funding. So you can't buy a $4 million house on a FH. No. First of all, you can't buy that kind of house on a regular. It's called a jumbo loan, which a lot of people in the affluent, like I'm looking into that because it's like not a product that's highly offered. But there is a certain, like, in fact, actually, if you get your phone real quick, I'll actually Google it while we're sitting here, and I'll keep talking. I can do 2 things at once. Okay. So the other method is what we talked about earlier, which is the BRRR method.
So buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Did I get that right?
Did you get that right? Did you get it right? All right, guys. Just in FHA 2024. Wow, it's big, a lot different. Minimum national loan limit floor is $498,000. That is a lot less. And you have to have at least a 580 credit score. It's 10% of your credit score is between 500 and 579 down. So, this is a very attractive option for a lot of people who may not have been as responsible with their credit. Like, this is something I strongly recommend. And the reason why the government does this is because it stimulates a lot of jobs. It allows people to have affordable housing. It doesn't fix the whole capitalist, everyone buying houses, like BlackRock. And I think Redfin was one of the big ones too. I think Zillow even did this. So a lot of companies were like buying houses like commodities, like oil, corn, like that.
With a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love. That's the life that we live. Suits and scrubs.